about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics.
Hello, YouTube. It is Charles here, and this is a review of the brand new series, the #1 issue from IDW Dark, called Smile for the Camera. This was a very intriguing book. It is kind of a suspense horror book. I have a policy here: if I don't enjoy something, I won't talk about it. And while I may not continue the series, that doesn't mean anything about my enjoyment of this #1 issue. They did a lot of very cool things, a lot of creative storytelling. It's just that the story and the world they create is not going to be toward my liking. To be honest with you, if I read it, it's going to be one of those that I pick up if I'm making a big comic book order and I have a couple extra bucks to spend. I might throw this on the pile. But it's not something that's going to be at the front of my comic book list. So it's not going to be something that I invest a lot of time or energy in. But you start off meeting this young model, Cammy, and you get to know her through various social media postings. And I like this. It's almost reminiscent of a MySpace page. For people my age, you will know what a MySpace age is. And actually, I didn't pick up on this at the beginning, but it takes place back in 2005 when MySpace was at its peak. So this is apparently an homage to MySpace. And, it gives you a basic introduction to the character, as well as it's a way of introducing the creative team behind the book. And so you have the book credits mixed in with a small introduction of the main character of this issue. I say this issue, that's a bit of a spoiler, but let's just say that while Cammy is a very important part of this first issue, don't get used to her, possibly. But I will give away a couple of spoilers, but I'm going to try to avoid the meat of the story so you can enjoy it yourself. But it starts off with a bang. You see her getting on a plane, heading to New York. Actually about to deboard the plane, I believe. And you see this creepy guy just kind of staring at her from the tarmac through her airplane window, and she looks shocked and she gasps, and you turn the next page and you find that the guy jumped into the jet engine and decided to jump into a jet engine, and what happened. And so we start off with this bubbly introduction with the MySpace type page, her this model getting off the plane, going to New York, and then we have this very, very grim shot on the next page of this bloody airplane engine, and everybody's standing around like, holy crap. And so that's how we start the book. One thing I will say about the book that threw me off the story as well is it jumps a lot. We go from that to this rundown apartment where all these models are staying. And on the next page from that, we get, they end up in the office of their big talent agent right downstairs. A whole different environment. It just jumps from environment to environment, scene to scene, without a lot of context and without a lot of transition. And so you're reading one page, one setting, one group of characters, and then the next thing you know, you're taken from a party in New York to, backstage at a fashion shoot to, just jump after jump. But in the splice in between all these jumps is this narrative thread of Cammy slowly going insane and being haunted by these people who, when they look at her, their face changes into something monstrous. And every time she catches a glimpse of herself, she becomes a little bit more monstrous in her appearance as well. And we got, so she is, like I said, the main narrative driving force in this issue, and a new model who is, brand new to the game. We find out she's in school to become a veterinarian, trying to model to raise money for her schooling and something else that she doesn't get into, and the predatory nature of the modeling industry. And so it's very interesting, it's about the predatory nature of the modeling industry, and it's about the vices that come with it. And on top of that, you have this narrative of mystery of what's going on with Cammy and what happens to Cammy in the last page. The horror is sparse and spread out and more psychological than gruesome. The gruesome, visceral stuff comes in the form of jump scares, and then immediately it's on to the next. And so it's not going to be a traditional horror where it's just every page is blood-soaked and violent. It's more of this whirlwind of chaos of the modeling industry, interspersed with these people who are battling these inner demons in their mind, and whatever is going on with Cammy, which we don't have an answer to by the end of the book. I think, like I said, it's a very interesting concept, and I like how there is this dichotomy between this mystery and the modeling industry and its predatory nature, and the aesthetic of everything. And it's very interesting. It's just the thing that's going to keep me from prioritizing this in my pull list every month is the jumpy nature of it. And I think it's great when they hint at stuff and they draw out the tension, but at the same time, you can hold back too much. And I think that if we could have experienced more of the horror, that would have gotten my attention. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys got into Smile for the Camera, what your guys' thoughts are. If you agree, if you've been completely wrong. If there's something I'm missing, please let me know. Because like I always say, this channel is not about criticism or anger. It's about what I love, and that's comic books and that's storytelling. And I want to enjoy this story. I want to enjoy every story. But, while I enjoyed it, it just didn't wow me. But I think that it may be something out there that the larger audience may really enjoy. And like I said, I haven't completely written it off. It's just not going to be prioritized. And at the back, they actually have an exclusive first look at A Quiet Place Storm Warning #1. I never saw the A Quiet Place movies, but this right here, this introduction, made it look very interesting. This small town, of course, seeing the carnage of these monsters and what's going on around the country, and they're trying to decide what they're going to do when it inevitably comes to their small community. And you have a lot of small town politics and frustrations involved in that wider monster story. And while I never saw A Quiet Place, this preview of the new series from IDW Dark really got me hooked. And I really want to find out what happens with the story. And it makes me also want to kind of go back and check out the movie, if it's going to be anything written like this. So that's another notable thing about this book. If you're into, I guess a good comparison would be, it'd be like if America's Top Model was turned into a horror movie. So that sounds like something you would dig. Definitely check out Smile for the Camera. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, keep reading them books. You know I will. And who knows, maybe I will come back with a review of number 2. I am out. Oh, and be sure if you like the content and you want to contribute to the production of it, I have a Buy Me a Coffee and the link down in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.